You made a stranger perform your own tantrum. Don't be embarrassed. I'm still here. Where I am from, a man is judged if he cannot finish what he started, so finish me. Show me how you fight, and I'll show you how to possess Chopin and turn him into something darker than his own shadow. Little Lazarus, why wasn't it you who yanked the song out of me? I blessed the bloody knuckle with the percussion you could not make. The fist that was not yours formed into a furious tumor, a fat flounder forcing its living against the brown swamp of my face. You made sure I was open properly. If you were a real man, you'd have let me feed your hunger in an easier way. Would have let me teach you Fat's domino with one hand held over my gaping left socket while the other hand danced among the ivories. Instructor of the obedient, I see you. We both call others to move for us. Both own heavy hands that draw blood from the objects we wish to be. I thought you released spiders on the keys to mess with me. I'm sorry about the tape recorder. I wanted to hold your voice to my ear like a secret. Is it heroin or the police this time? Your voice floods the living room and I pour it on the piano like gasoline. You play Malagueña and the dam of me breaks like a voice. I've played Chopin's etudes. I've done the whole thing. I want you to teach me. My dad doesn't care. Come back when you're sober. I picked up the phone when I shouldn't have. Harry, come get me. I'm getting beat up by the police. You'd cry, and I would just lull and talk and lull. I kept toying with the recorder like a rosary, like a light switch, like any little thing you could worry in the dark. The stage is a red face of wrinkles, and you've returned from Nice with no record deal. The first time you vomited on me, I forgave you. Wore it like a brown dressing from Commander's Palace. The second time you spilled, blood swarmed the cracks of my keys, but you continued playing in the slush. You backwards Moses. I know it's not the way you wanted to mark me, but what do you have left to give but the remains of a sour stomach? I created you to glorify me, to show the world an addict in a wig could rattle my body with divine imagination. I handed you a soul that could not be taken by anyone who fears you. Booker, I want it back. I tell you, as we walk the trail in Oxford, surrounded by the trees I don't have names for. They hang over us like unpredictability, like life. I don't have a name for this, but I've tried calling it several things. Limbo, an unnestling into a familiar strangeness, unpaved streets. I'm afraid my hands work better in the cold. I think this is how destruction starts. You return. You're non-adaptable, harder to move. The ground sinks, the water rises. I think too much of the fields, write enough elegies to be the rabbits trespassing them. We've all once seen what we think shouldn't be there. A weapon shadow that turns out to be the refrigerator, a shirt hanging from the door, the toilet in its same spot, gurgling like a victim so fear-swollen it's real. I love where I'm from. Religiously hunker in the belly of a tub during rain-fueled summers like a stowaway. It took 5 hours to get here. We should have switched drivers when the accents changed. Talked about what soothes our mothers. Blood is such a flimsy marker of kinship. The highway was a spine leading the way to the borrowed brain of the house we visit like an earworm. The cicadas call us from the noise we have no names for. We know things are wrong. We've listened too much. The land, like us, will one day be gone. Right now, let's pull the black card on nature. We deserve to be here. We cut the horsetail like troubled siblings, construct our own names, unchristen the smooth-barked crepe myrtles, damnful clergymen. Look at us. Once before, we trusted poisonous things because of their beauty. Angel trumpets, the stones of cherries, ourselves. I showed my cousins I loved them by learning how to spell every one of their names. My Black nation learns how to spell the names of our kin renamed emergency, threat. New Orleans, please. There's threat of emergency, of violence against where Black people sleep. My most self-inflicting violence, lack of sleep. I pray with the meat of my anger. I should gut my anger, this mold, from my house. I have a bad habit of always thinking. I have a bad habit. I always think loving someone means that I know them. Isn't it fun to love someone you don't know? I showed my cousins I love them by learning. Bless the children who are compared to the white ones. Praise the project bricks and the men inside selling white ones. I know Rodney wanted to be a chemist, but they said fuck that and didn't let him graduate. Bless our rivals in Calio, the unloved children inside its walls, and Calliope for allowing us to butcher her name. Bless every accent that flies out of a child's mouth. God bless the child that's got his own. Bless every child whose favorite flavor is red and pays 25 cents for the crimson ice that stains the tongue. The syrup oozes down the lips of a toddler who has just learned to curse. We make the magnolia bloom. A church is a church, but it's not a church unless the people is in it. We are midnight children inside its walls, the black ink they cannot wipe away. Bless the children raising their mother's children and every child who has felt the bite of a belt. Praise the child who does not cry when getting beat in front of their friends. See, you have the courage to get cocky. It won't go through, baby. It won't happen. I don't know of any dumpster in the Magnolia that hasn't been turned into a casket. Do you know how many bodies have been thrown away? According to the local news station, the blue crawfish is a rare thing to find, yet it watches us from the tank of the market, spared from a boiled, seasoned death, unlike its red friends. My uncle says, joy is the opposite of running into a dagger. And I realize I am not the most poetic family member who has pain. Jay and I crack the spines of the crawfish not lucky enough to be blue. The deeper the blues, the more I see black played above my head at the chiropractor the day before. Stubborn, I call my back. Subluxation, the medical journal says. 3 times a week, my chiropractor calls the forceful moving of my misalignment a healthy crack. Like bullies hemorrhaging power, we look forward to making me almost break. I love my family, unlike my back. Before we got here, Jay threaded amber and jade and lapis into a necklace he made for me to match the cover of the book where I've written my pain. He moves outside his box, newly free. He loves movement. Says he understands that toxic masculinity means to want to pinch your claws around any smaller crustacean. I am the 3rd most poetic in this family. He loves the neon of the crawfish. We Google what makes it blue, and we suck the sadness out of our conversation. Like luck, blues can spare any life if you wear it, but it will leave you as lonely as the crawfish in the tank. I wonder what family the mudbug came from. Were they a proud bunch, had the brightest shells in their swamps? Did this little blue bug love his looks, or did he burrow deeper into the mud because he couldn't handle the attention his hue attracted? We chew the back meat of the unlucky things, stew in the love that surrounds us like a pot with our spines and heads still attached. Look at what the brain makes the muscle do. Remember, joy is the membrane covering us, the tissue that keeps a family situated around a table when they could be running from one another. My uncle taps the murky glass to make the orphan thing move. He turns to us. Could you imagine us living like that? All hard on the outside with an exoskeleton? No, I can't. There's so much in us, we'd fall apart. Which is to say, in the winters, I dream of owning a multi-floored mansion in New Orleans, specifically one on St. Charles Avenue with a wraparound porch and white pillars that would only see the likes of me if I were the maid, the midwife, the family mechanic, Archie Manning, the maintenance worker, or the mailman trusted enough to know the gate's 9-digit passcode and leave the mail resting on the family's rain-weathered mahogany rocking chair. In this particular dream, I'm the mailman. The marigold's red tongues lick the legs of the chair as I leave the mail on one of its non-refurbished, lead-painted arms. Their green necks rapidly invade the eggshell-painted porch like any poor soldier in need of his salt. I rip one from the ground for the sake of killing. Look it in its yellow center, a vibrant blister, before I rub it between my knuckles and render it a freshly ground thing. Looking back, this poem was only supposed to be about my sinuses. How, even in my dreams, I sneeze at the sight of untended weeds, flowers whose mouths unfold under the brazen light of the sun. The nightmare is supposed to be my allergies. How they only allow me to love what blooms from a distance, but in every dream, those vibrant marigolds keep growing. Their vines are needle-thin tumors that keep stretching crazily onto the porch, keep making the rocking chair nervous at its own home. When I see that rocking chair, I see blood. It rocks like a heartbeat running from whatever is inside that mansion or behind it with a whip. This is a beautiful crowd. Like, you're all wonderful. So, wait, there's so many people. Okay, on the count, not all of you here. I counted 1, 2, 3, hold it. Thank you. Thank you for indulging me. I was spoiled by lavish thoughts, I admit it. History almost unchained itself from my weaker clavicle. Everyone looked so excited on the anniversary of assassination. I wrote this because I want to live in the house I cannot own because I am not white. Forgive me. I've said this before, but I was in a different state. A softer mania, and this time a wife lunged towards the mouths of overwatered magnolias. They were already dead. At my home, 2 chickens pecked the yard and refused to leave us eggs. I refused to rest out of unmet want. I harassed the gnats in the bathroom. I fixed the Sprite, wash your back, watch the night, eat all the dead crab. You watch me accumulate in particulars. I stretch the curtains. This is daylight, the swelling of a lizard's red throat. Inside the home I want for the wrong reason, there is a lamp that won't work. I know because the owners keep their blinds open. The husband joins his wife near the olive-shaded lamp and quails as his raving lover seizes the neck of the fixture. I shudder in the passenger seat of this city, far enough to not be heard, but a light shines bright and I am seen, sleuthing and serious. I know close violences still form in the absence of want. I keep walking as the husband shuts the blinds. Thank you.